Were your side hustles born out of love or out of desperation?
It was born out of need.
They say necessity is the mother of invention.
The desperation to make money, to be able to pay transfer and go to my work. That is how my side hustle was born.
The worst thing that can happen in the man is when you take a decision in desperation. Trust you me, you have a poor bargaining power.
The only thing that will make you not to have a side hustle is if you have not gone through any pain.
I know everybody cannot do everything,
Yeah.
for sure. But in everybody, there's an extra skill you can exploit.
I knew I would MC, but I never thought that I would be emceeing a gospel concert.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was thinking corporate events. I was already, I was feeling myself.
And so what was side hustles are actually feeding themselves like 3 full-time hustles.
There is a mindset that a lot of us have when we work for private enterprises. If you're not strong emotionally and you're not wise, these employers will use you and they'll manipulate you.
While you're following that passion, have something you're making money from.
They can fund
That
that
you can
passion.
take and say, okay, as I have this my thing, I can take and I invest in this my passion.
In order to be able to transform your passion into profits, you first of all need to build authority.
And some people's passions are really silly. There are some people who have very silly passions. It is my passion, it's my passion. And another thing is people have passions that they are not talented in.
One thing I agree is whether you're doing side hustle or you're doing passion, knowledge is important.
Do you believe your 9 to 5 can give you the life of your dreams? Do you believe that your 9 to 5 can give you the kind of comfort you deserve? Have you ever thought of a side hustle? Are you involved in a side hustle right about now? You would ask, okay, what is a side hustle? A side hustle is that thing you do aside your main job. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to your favorite conversation on the internet. It is Truth Hurts Podcast, baby. I'm excited. It's a new year. We are learning new things. And this year we are going from strength to strength. We are tackling on those topics, those areas we know are very primordial for our development. And this time around, we're going to be talking about a very important topic. And we have the best, yes, on the program today, because these are two gentlemen who have invested time and sweat into making sure they earn, substantial cash. They've spread their tentacles into different works of life. And today their expertise is going to be giving you more than enough knowledge on today's show. Let me start with my favorite Biggie of all times. Hello, Biggie. Happy New Year and welcome.
Happy New Year. I'm sure you've made your New Year resolution already.
I'm trying, Biggie. There are many bets. I'll just be taking it small. And we also have Mr. Abbas. You're welcome to Truth Hurts Podcast.
Thank you very much. And I'm so excited to see you again today.
Oh, excited to see you too. Biggie, I'm going to start with you. What was what is your main hustle?
I have many main hustles.
I like the sound of that.
As of today, I have many main hustles. I'm a human resource professional
Okay.
by training.
Okay.
I'm a professional network marketer,
Wow.
and then I do importing online business. So those are my 3 main businesses.
Amazing.
So you have to manage being a human resource professional. At the same time, you have to manage
Being a network marketer.
network marketer, and then doing importation and online business, online sales.
Amazing. That's really laudable. What about you, Abbas? What's your main hustle and what is your
Yeah.
side hustle?
My main hustle is marketing, helping businesses grow their sales, especially food processing businesses. But then, as a side hustle, man don't touch plenty things. Like sometimes you find me working in HR. I'm glad Biggie is a human resource expert. Sometimes you find me working in HR. Sometimes you find me doing graphics design. Sometimes I'm directing video productions. Sometimes I'm into consulting. That is energy auditing, resource auditing for companies. So just touching many things. But then, as you say, the expertise is business growth, helping businesses grow their sales.
That's amazing. Well, I'm a journalist though. TV show host. That's my main job. Yes, I'm a trained journalist from the University of Boya. Studied journalism and mass communication, and in thank God for this profession, because inside the profession there are a lot of side hustles. Because so far, of course, presenting and of course news writing and editing are the key things that we need to do. As a result of this, I can freelance as an MC. I can also get to cover events out of my work, and I also get to do online promotion. Yes, I blog, I write on the internet, and I promote brands and get myself small cash. I'm also an influencer. Thankfully, the influencing is growing. It really grew last year, and I'm hoping that this new year, as we continue to brand and grow in numbers, we can be able to earn more money.
Yeah.
But let's talk about how you've decided to get a second hustle, a side hustle. Has it always been the plan, or when you were growing up, you thought that you would have your main hustle and focus all your time and energy on it? What was the story?
True this. Where I am today, I never dreamed. It's really something different. I mean, what I'm realizing today is quite different from what I actually dreamt of all my life. I wanted to just be a professional, have a job. When I left university, it was about getting a job and work to retirement. In fact, like, you watch your parents who worked for the government, worked their whole lives for the government and made money. So my mind was like, okay, on the other hand, I didn't want to work for the government. But in my mind, I was like, okay, I will get a job and I will do my best. I'll grow career path and get to retirement. But then again, one reality, when I had my first job, that was actually like, okay, everything is getting on track. I was giving my all, but it got to a point where, when I started working, I was a bachelor. So whatever I was earning was making sense at the point in time. Then my son arrived, and you realize that it's not the same thing. The money you're making, it's not making.
It's not giving.
Yeah. So you're putting one-on-one, you're looking at the money. In your mind, you're like, okay, you know what? I just need to work extra hard again. Maybe impress my bosses.
So that they can probably promote you, increase your pay.
Exactly. But I mean, it doesn't work like that. Companies have their vision and they have the way. While you have your career plan, companies have their own career plan for you. And sometimes it doesn't align with your reality. So you get to the point that my son arrived, you realize that it was tight budgeting. And so it got to a point where I was actually getting bitter and angry, because it's like every effort I was putting wasn't giving me the promotion I hoped for or the promotion I wanted. So yes, it was actually making me a bitter person. So it got to the point where I had to start thinking like, okay, clearly this job cannot meet all my needs. So what am I supposed to do? And one of the things that can help you grow inside hustles is when you have an open spirit. Because when you're locked up, you feel like this is the only way. You get to a point where nothing seems to work. But when you're open-minded, you realize that there are a lot of opportunities that have been hovering around you, but you've not seen just because
neglected them.
You felt like this is the only way. And so when I opened my mind, I saw so many things that came up. But the one I felt like I could comfortably adapt to was network marketing. So at the same time I was working, I was doing network marketing. I'm still doing, but I started network marketing with a full-time job.
Wow.
And then it got to a point where network marketing took passion, and I had to say, okay, let me hold a little bit with the professional life and focus on network marketing. And then from network marketing, I was like, okay, I first of all thought like, okay, network marketing is all beautiful. Then I had to remember that let me not do the same mistake I did when I had a job.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, so what happens? So I felt like, okay, I had to diversify into something, which was important. It started like a joke. It was just about, let me try how I can import and do online sales. And before I knew it, it was crazy. So now it got to a point where I started saying, okay, now how do I manage the three? And so I had to start figuring out I could able to, at the same time, be a human resource professional, at the same time, be a professional network marketer, at the same time, be an importer. And so what was side hustles are actually feeding themselves like 3 full-time hustles.
Wow. Amazing work. In fact, this is going to be a very insightful conversation.
Yeah.
Were your side hustles born out of love or out of desperation?
It was born out of need
Okay.
because I was actually having a full-time job. But then while being a student, I knew how to design a thing or two. So just posting what I designed, some of my bigs, they liked it and they just gave me like, "Go do me the thing," and then I want to see somebody that send me 5K. So it grew out of, okay, when I came to the job and the job became a little bit too frustrating, but I had a good job. But then now I was not really very comfortable. I started thinking like, can I really make a living out of this thing? So thanks to good mentorship, shout out to Fabrice Abunde because he was my guide at the time. He actually directed me and said, "No, but if you really leave the thing, focus on the one, it go help you." And then I just like, that's how the side hustle came about,
Okay.
and tend to be the main thing.
I remember the first time I went for a side hustle gig. Mind you, I had just left the University of Boya. I was volunteering at a TV station, and and I knew that I was going to land a job. In fact, I was on probation. So let me say I was already employed according to the TV's terms. And mind you, I had not seen any franc even after my probation had expired. So I remember in fact, staying for a very long time, and I could not afford my transport. I would literally trek. I think I've said this story before. I don't know if it was on this Truthers podcast, but the distance to work in Boya was about 300 francs. And because transport in Boya and Douala are two different things. When you get 300 francs distance in Douala, yeah, it's very far. In Boya, it's very far, but the money is small. So I would trek for a distance of like 150 francs or 200, and then pay 100, or trek for 150 and then pay 150. And then it so happened that, in fact, I was getting really tired. And every time I would meet my Oga and I would ask him like, "Boss, how far, payment and all of that?" He would tell me his own problems, and I'll turn around and feel guilty for even bothering him. There is a mindset that a lot of us have when we work for private enterprises. If you're not strong emotionally and you're not wise, these employers will use you and they'll manipulate you.
True.
So he would complain about his own problems, and at the end of the day, I'll be like, "But even if you want bad naha, let me even have something to pay transport and eat. Maybe you don't have to pay me all." I was willing to even be paid half of my salary. Long story short, I remember receiving this gig to go and MC for a choir. I never thought that I would go, and I knew I would MC, but I never thought that I would be MCing a gospel concert.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was thinking corporate events. I was already, I was feeling myself. Anyway, I thought that is what MCing is supposed to. I didn't think that I was going to be a choir. I was like, MCing for a choir, a concert? How is that going to be? I remember I think it was in Bomaka in Boya.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I remember going far into Bomaka to go and MC. And the desperation to make money, to be able to pay transfer and go to my work. That is how my side hustle was born. And to be truthful, I enjoyed every single part. There is this comfort you have when you know that you are working and the money is here. It is not like that. The money is promised you and you will not come.
Yeah.
I remember that the money, I was not paid much. I was paid 20K.
Wow.
But the
imagine.
pride inside of me, you could not take it away from me. I remember when that guy was like, "Oh, the money they have to pay me is 20K," but I think they added about 5,000 francs because the event ended at about midnight or so. And that guy, the person that the fact was the PR of the choir, paid a taxi for me, depot, and took me right to my doorstep, dropped me. I was like, so I can really focus on this MCing thing.
Wow.
I can really start making, and I continued. I was the main MC of that choir for a long time. In fact, till I left Boya. The last time I refused MCing for that choir, I think I refused MCing for them because I had another event. That is how my MC gig started coming. As small as the money was at that time, it was okay for the faith.
Wow.
It was okay for that faith. I was earning money. I was able to take care of myself. I could participate because I was living with my elder sister. She was paying the rent and doing everything. She could sit and I would give money and say, "Okay, let's buy this. Let me assist in paying rent. Let me do this." So that was, in fact, the very first side hustle. Let me now, all of us have shared our side hustles. Biggie, do you think that every single person is supposed to think towards the direction of a side hustle?
It's quintessential. Very, 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 very. Because in the life of an entrepreneur, we always talk about multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at all the billionaires we have on earth, there's no one who has one stream of income. No one.
But does everyone have the capacity to?
The point is, everybody, you just need to look within. They say necessity is the mother of invention. when you don't find the need, I think there was a time we spoke in the podcast, we were talking about being comfortable. I don't remember, but we're talking, there are some people who are just comfortable, like, okay, in the morning, if I have my breakfast, bread and tea, I'm fine. Lunch, maybe I can have my this, and they are contented. That's even the word. You're contented. No. When you say this is today, where do I hope to find myself? Because like I said, initially I said, when my son was born, I was like, if I'm finding it hard right now, when he begins to go to school, how will I manage it?
Cool.
I mean, you're doing the mathematics now and saying if you multiply by the future and put in every factor that can be deadly. And so it begins to make you like, okay, I have to think out of the box. Which means having multiple streams of income is very, 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 very important. Because you don't know which one. Look, nobody saw COVID coming.
I'm telling you.
So imagine people whose business solely relied on an environment that COVID didn't favor. They went off.
They did.
People actually
Many people lost their jobs. People got
a
into
lot of
depression.
people.
Some people killed themselves.
Now, people who had understood social media and were trying and were doing their big jobs and doing social media, they picked up there because everybody was at home and because people were bored, everybody was on the phone. And so social media, the influence of social,
Skyrocketed,
yes.
yeah.
So it's to say, when you have multiple streams of income, you never know which one. Like for me, there was a moment where I halted from the professional world. I was solely focused on professional network marketing and my online business. There was a moment where professional marketing was on the slow. It was online business that was keeping me afloat. Like it was handling every other thing. So it gave me time to say, okay, I can take a step behind, recalculate, re-strategize, and move forward. But now imagine if everything was hot, because the worst thing that can happen in the man is when you take a decision in desperation. Trust you me, you have a poor bargaining power. I'll speak for instance, even when I had a job, when I started in professional marketing, I was making money. I wasn't disrespectful to my bosses, but I was more confident. Because they understood that they couldn't manipulate me, whatever thing they were paying. So if I had an idea to tell them, I would be straight up to them that I don't agree with you, with all due respect. Because they understood that I will not hide my feeling to say, because you will not tell me that you will fire me tomorrow and I'll panic, because they understood that aside me being professional to them, I had other sources of income that made me afloat. So it gave me, even when I'm looking, like I have an opportunity today, when somebody calls me and say, okay, listen, I want you to work for me. I already have 2 houses on the hand, and you're calling me to exploit my professional talent. I'll tell you that, listen, if you really want to take my time, you'll pay me this. But the person said, because my other houses are giving me this, it means you want me to reduce time in the other houses to
And
give to
invest in
you.
yours.
So if you're not giving me this, let
How
it go,
possible
because
is
I'm ready.
that?
So multiple streams of income not only is very important, but it gives you a strong bargaining power even in your negotiations. Because people know that if they are stealing you from something else, then they should really be worth your time. When you're desperate, you started like a young MC, you're saying, right now, if somebody calls you and says, Fade, I need you to MC my event, you're telling the person, listen, you're paying me this.
Exactly.
Because there are options. When the person understands that this is your value, you tell the person that if you really value me, you give me this. If you don't value me, you let me go here. Because you know your value, you know how much of the impact and the sources of income you have. So you know that if I lose this, I can still hang on this. So if you're taking me, either you take me for my full package.
Or not.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
We're going to come back to that. The same question I'll ask you. You believe that everyone should, in fact, it's a must that we all should, because some people say, I'm earning so much at my present job, I'm fine, I can travel the world, I can pay my children's school fees, especially for people that are born into generational wealth.
Okay.
You be telling them that, side hustle is very
side hustle and
important.
all of that. I think that everyone already have a side hustle.
Oh, how so?
The only thing that will make you not to have a side hustle is if you have not gone through any pain, if you have not gone through any challenge.
True.
Because
Good point.
if you already have it, you only choose to monetize or not monetize it. Why? Because you have something you are passionate, you are crazy about, and that thing is usually born out of pain. It's usually born out of challenge. It's usually born out of problems. So I think that everyone already by default have something that can become their side hustle. They only choose to capitalize on it or not. You get the point? So for me, I think that everyone should Look for something that drives them, that provokes their inner being, and that will become their side hustle.
So I'll stay with you now. How do you, you're talking about provoking a side, that well resonates with who you are inside,
Yeah.
because many people are, okay, I want a side hustle, but how then do I narrow into choosing the side hustle? Because these days, it's like every industry is saturated.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, is it that, or am I wrong by saying this? Is it that we are also just wanting some of the industries that are saturated and we don't want to go for the ones that are very tasking? Based off of your experience, what do you think?
I think that truth is true. The truth is most industries are saturated and the saturation will only keep increasing. But then to identify what you really care about, you have to feel it. Like you have to do a purpose analysis and impact assessment. Like what are the things that really drive me? Because the moment you identify that thing, it might not even be giving you 50, it might not even give you any cash. But now we'll come to the section where we talk about how to convert it. Identifying it is the first thing, and then converting it now to become a payable side hustle. Because your side hustle can be caring for children, and you are caring for children in the orphanage and doing a lot, and it's not giving you a franc. But then how to convert it now that you are care, that you are love, that you are attention for kids to become something that people pay you to do. It is something else. But just caring is already something that has a potential to become your hustle. Just by you caring for children, for instance, it's already something that can pay you. But now, so I think that by default, as you said, everybody have that. Now identifying it is simply just thinking through your life, doing an impact assessment and knowing that thing that causes you pain. Like, for instance, you not being paid on time at your previous job was a pain point, and you might not want to advise a young journalist who just graduated from UB to go through that process. So you find yourself doing something that you can tell the journalist that check into copywriting, MCing, doing this, just because you don't want the person to work for 3-4 months and not be paid, even to have transport to go to work. So you see that by default, that thing is already there. It's something that happened to you and you don't want another person to go through it. So how do you monetize that now?
All right, we're going to come to monetizing, because I think that, well, you said something, and as much as I would agree, I don't think that every side hustle should be something that you are very motivated about it. Because
I think
do we really have those things like that, as many of them like that?
No,
Exactly.
where I would differ with him is to say, I think side hustle, when the word hustle comes in, what I see is extra income.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I understand that passion, you can be passionate about something, because when there's passion, there's patience.
Mm-hmm.
You take your time, you push forward, you take the time, and then and then it develops into some money
Mm-hmm.
before you see you're making money. But a lot of other side hustles have been pushed by necessity. The biggest money I've ever made in my life is from network marketing. But I'm trained human resource professional.
True.
Okay. And not like I never heard about network marketing. I remember even back in university, some people brought about the whole concept. I was very angry. I remember when I was even looking for a job and somebody proposed to me network marketing. I was pissed because, I went to a company and I dropped, without mentioning the name, and I dropped my CV, and the man who received my CV was like prospecting me on the company. I don't want to mention the name. And I left the place, took a taxi, and I was pissed off, like what the hell? Years later, when I even had a job already, I dived into network marketing and it was a different ballgame. So what I'm explaining is, I know everybody cannot do everything,
Yeah.
for sure. But in everybody, there's an extra skill you can exploit.
True.
So when you get to that point of necessity, you actually be amazed at the things you can do. Faye was saying she's a journalist, but she found, because honestly, MC is a different ballgame. People always think that journalists are MCs. No. To be a journalist is not is that you can easily be an MC because you're a journalist, but to be a journalist, you're not an MC.
Yeah, no, MC. Yeah,
Because
true.
Journalism is about fluency and you have a script. MC is about improvising.
True.
And so you must have a skill. So which means it gets to a point where you need to say, okay, when I come to network marketing, I have to get out of my shell in a lot of things. Now, when people started talking about online selling, I was like, but when I got to it, means sometimes side hustles are born out of a need,
To
and
make
then you discover that I had it in me.
Yeah.
Now, passion is that I have a job and then I have a passion for something. Maybe photography, maybe something. So I do it as like when I have my free time, I'm into it, I do it. And before you know, somebody tells you that, hey, you know, I pay you 100,000 for this thing, you'll be like, hey, this is what I do. So if you give me some 100,000, before you know, one day they call you 500,000, and then you see money comes out of it. For sure, passion or hustle for the hustle, both of them are always bringing income. But a lot of times when you see somebody leaves from one place and is hustling many streams of income, there are a lot of times they are born from necessity.
True, true. I totally agree on that. I totally agree on that. What I'm trying to say is that, as you say, hustle, it means that there's already a main thing. And then you are trying to add something to it out of necessity, out of need. Now, the aspect of hustle, and then you are doing something at the side, not interested, not necessarily for the purpose of money.
Hey,
Yeah, you can be doing photography for instance, and you are not doing it because
then why is it hustle?
you are just
The term hustle in itself is already meaning.
hustle is already coming in when you are doing it to add income to
Yes.
necessity. But now passion is that you are doing it because you like it. You just love editing videos. And at the beginning, you are editing birthday videos for your family, for your friends, not necessarily for yourself. And then you come to the somebody calls you, I be editing me the video, and they send you 10K. And you're like, I feel the do my journalism job, and then the edit the video there for evening. That is your passion.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just get into the turning passion
Yeah.
into hustle, because in fact the conversation cannot have a very
Yeah.
smooth, straight flow.
No.
It cannot have a very straight flow. Is it not even already unreasonable that you have a passion in this time and age and you're not thinking of turning it into a side hustle? It does not make sense.
The truth is that for you to be able,
People like security, so they might not be thinking about turning it into a work because they are not sure of the outcome.
It means that they don't like money. Wait.
passion is good, right?
Yes.
Honestly, when you're making money out of passion, it's one beautiful thing that can happen.
He is saying that what if people are doing passion and they are not even thinking about making money?
No.
And so I'm asking him that is he
You
even
get-
smart?
You get, like I said, the worst situation you can put a man is in desperate position because he can mess up a lot of things. So it's complicated for you to be passionate with no reality. There's this artist.
I don't want to be passionate about anything that's
That's what I
not
said. There
giving
was
me
this
money.
artist. He said a lot of musicians are not making it because they are passionate about the music, but honestly, music requires money. And he advised that have something while you're following that passion. Have something you're making money from.
That you can fund
Then
that
you can
passion.
take and say, okay, as I have this my thing, I can take and I invest in this my passion, so that tomorrow it can materialize. I'll put for me. For one, my passion has always been music.
Yeah.
I've always had love for music. I play instrument. I've always wanted to do music. I'm also a people's person. That's where I found myself in human resource because I've always had that gift of talking to people, interacting with people, pushing people, finding my way, and influencing people's mindset about a lot of things. Now, when it comes to making a living, I understand that making music in the environment where I find myself is not biscuit. Now, I still love it. I've done a couple of personal recordings that are just for my personal listening. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, when I get to that level, I'm going to release an album or do something that's just for me. But now, while I'm pushing that, for sure, if tomorrow I release an album and it makes me money, that's money for me. But right now, when I'm looking at that passion, I'm like, pause more. Because I'm married, I got kids, I got reality. When I wake up every day, I have the pressure. I think passion can work for somebody who doesn't have pressure. You mean you don't have anything that is pressure every day? You say, okay, let me take my time. I have people to feed. I have dreams to realize. So when I wake up in the morning, I wouldn't tell my kids that, you know what, daddy is working on his passion. They don't even understand. So sometimes
They
you
need
to
to
do-
eat. They need to go
They
to
need to
school.
eat. They
Would
need-
they be hearing
So
that
at that
that's
point
the
in time,
passion and
you're
the
like,
rest?
okay, while I need to get to that realization of what I'm passionate about, listen, bills need to be paid.
No.
Rent has to be paid.
No, we have to understand something that we are looking at. We are looking at transition, because in the sense that we are talking about side hustle and passion for people who are already trying to do something somewhere else, for instance, because creating a business out of your passion or out of a hustle, because for instance, I could be going to Mbanga every morning to carry bobolo and come and sell in Marché Central. And that is just a hustle for me. After school, I started hustling like that, and then I decided to turn it into a business. Okay, I could also just come out and I like photography and I start snapping and I'm not even making any money. I have to suffer year 1, year 2, year 3, and eventually I become one of the most known photographers and I make money. Now the situation is that this person is working something that is giving them a stable income, and they have two options. A side hustle, that's something that they don't really care about but can give them some money. It could be anything. They just, and another thing which they really like, and then they try to see how to endure with their current job and turn that thing into a profitable something. You see the two scenarios.
I will say something about side hustle. It's not something that, it's everybody cannot do everything. I'll put, for instance, everybody cannot be a footballer. No matter how much you want to make football your side hustle. What I mean is, for side hustle to be realistic, it's something that comes with a need for sure. But there must be something in you that can meet it. You must have it in you. Maybe you didn't know. But when you get to that wall, you need to discover that, okay, that skill was somewhere. But I've come to realize that everybody cannot have everything.
No, everybody can have a side hustle.
Everybody can have a side. So I think that we like I was saying, I think that our conversation cannot have a very linear path, because yes, I had already said that I don't think that there's any in this age and time. I don't think that anybody should be investing in their passion if they are not really sure that at some point in time they are going to make money out of it.
The truth is that all that passion, there must be somebody in the world somewhere who is making money out of that same thing you're passionate about.
I agree. So I think that the problem now lies in how woke are the people that have these passions that they are giving time and money to. Do you know that there are people that are doing things right now, giving money to those things that they are not seeing any feasible plan as to how that thing is going to give them money, just like what you were saying. And I think that it is very foolish. I think that is very foolish, because imagine that, okay, you're from a struggling background.
Yes.
And there are a lot of responsibilities that rest on your shoulder. It is true, many people are saying, oh, follow your passion. But I don't think follow your passion is for everybody. Not everybody in this life will follow their passion, even if they already have another job on the side. It is also the context in which we live, the countries we live, the backgrounds in which we are born from. So like I was saying, you come from a family where there's not so much. You have so many responsibilities. And instead of struggling to ensure that, well, you can handle those responsibilities and handle yourself, you are telling yourself, no, let me be spending time on this passion. And some people's passions are really silly. Yes, because the thing is, we are saying passion here. We think that in every situation it is something reasonable. There are some people who have very silly passions. It is my passion, it is my passion. And another thing is, people have passions that they are not talented in. I think that for most passions, you should have some more talent in that thing. For instance, listen to what I'm saying. You should be able. There are some that even the learning will not give. Use the music, Papa. You don't get passion for music. You don't know nothing about music. As I say, why can't Tom be now? Just a music producer and the rest. And you have to be in a time and a context and a place where you can be able to materialize that money within a given time frame. If not, you'll be a fool at 40. What do I mean? I've interviewed artists that I know in my heart that this person does not have a future in music. This person, only their mindset, even if they had to become a music exec, he will fail, and he will fail woefully. And they are struggling. It does not make sense to be fueling that passion. Leave that, let it die, let it burn in the abyss, let it disappear. Go and look for some other thing. You find somebody that does not have what to eat, they are struggling, the small business that they have. Somebody will be doing business, probably selling your clothes, and like somebody I interviewed not so long ago, he has a small shop, he's struggling in managing. He's trying to do music. The music, know the gear, know the go. He's going to the studio, spending hundreds of thousands, millions in a year and the music is not going anywhere. It is revolving around his quarter people. They're saying, dope song, bro, every day. And he's staying there. And you are saying, it's my passion. He's beating his shoulder. It is not, kill that passion, kill that studio fast. There's no time for it. Yes. But then, on the flip side, if it is something reasonable, where in your context and the time that you have, because whether we like it or not, people say, Thank you. Shake my hand and beg. The context you find yourself in this Cameroon, the time that you have, can you now be able to turn that passion, that reasonable passion, into something that can now add you money? Those are the things that
Okay.
we need to talk about. And it brings me to the question I want to ask you.
Yes.
What are the things to take into consideration when you want to say, okay, I'm turning this passion into something that will help me make money? In fact, what are the things that we should even be thinking as things to make money out of that are our passion?
Okay, in this current economy, in this current digital economy, in order to be able to transform your passion into profits, you first of all need to build authority. And building that authority can take you 2 or 3 years. That is why we're encouraging you having a sustainable substance that can help you to transition. If you don't have, I mean that you are also having responsibility. It is very bad to pair responsibility and pursuing passion, or trying to convert your passion into profit when you have no reliable source to fund the passion. But then let us take a scenario where you can survive. How do you then convert your passion now to profit? First thing first, you have to build authority. And there are a couple of ways to build authority. It's either you are writing a book, or you are educating within that space of your passion, or you either a book, an article, a podcast, any content, anything that you can do to build authority by, for instance, just communicating within a certain space every day. People begin to associate you with that space. Let me say, every morning you get up and talk about interior design. You say, this blind goes with this pear, birch, and this color. When you want to choose tiles for your house, you spend your time educating people that know nothing about the things that you really care about. That will give you, first of all, as I say, for the first 2 years or even first 2 months, 3 months, you make no money, but people will begin to pay you. When then, with time, when man say, child, I really want to enter my new house, when I say, now Lizzie, they ever talk about that hosting them. Just call you. They'll start pairing you, even your classmates that you graduated together. Let me say you graduated from journalism and you see that there's one of your classmates who keeps talking about how to write a professional copy that sells, how to convert your write-ups to marketable pieces, all of that. And somebody comes and meets you and say, we want you to write a sales copy for a magazine. You'll be like, nah, they ever talk about writing and selling. They will just, so you first of all have to spend some time building authority, pairing yourself with that thing, attracting the right energy, and then before you go into the qualms and headache of knowing how to price, knowing how to all of, but the first is just being associated with that thing first.
I like that. Before we come to you, I really like that point. That point you made about building authority. And I feel that it is what a lot of young persons lack these days. And it brings us back to what I had said, I think, on previous editions about consistent little efforts.
Yeah.
Yes, because if you are not showing up every day for people to take note of you, to notice you, and to attach integrity and weight to what you're doing, there is absolutely no way. You start doing your makeup business today, there are thousands and in fact millions of people that started doing makeup. You start doing your small peanuts and the rest. Do you know how many people are in the market of peanuts?
True.
You start doing whatever it is you're doing, and for some, because there's another thing about young persons entitlement. You start doing whatever it is you're doing, and in a very short space of time, you feel that no, you have amassed the know-how that is needed to convince people, and then you go into that thing and you realize that you don't have market, and you get frustrated, and you start even blaming village people and the rest. Whereas I like to use your term, you had not built authority. You had not shown up and convinced people that no, I know what I am talking about.
Clearly.
Yes. And also, I feel that in order to be able to build authority, to even stand and build authority, you have to gain knowledge in that thing.
Very key.
Go and study
Very
that
key.
thing you're talking about. There are a lot of us don't know that there are sites that you can visit and you spend little or nothing to get knowledge. Some of us don't like to read. You don't like to learn anything. You don't even want to spend time doing anything that is uncomfortable. That will give you the knowledge and the leverage over others. But you want people to listen to you, and you want that side hustle of yours to blossom. You have a lot of people that families have come together big and contributed money. One business, it failed. 2 business, it failed. 3 business, it failed. And then tomorrow you start saying that no, it is because they're probably giving you that money with a bad heart. Or they have gotten, yes, people say crazy things. I've heard people say crazy things. And then my auntie will give me that money. Says, so if they so you know, felt like me. It is because you have not done these things that we are mentioning.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are going to come back to more on that. Big, you wanted to buttress
I
on the
was
point?
One thing I agree is whether you're doing side hustle or you're doing passion, knowledge is important.
True.
We agree. That's one fact. But then one thing I always like is when we're able to define terms, so we're able to understand where each and every one stands. I just said, let me check passion versus side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Passion, it is something you pursue because you enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
are deeply interested in it, or feel it adds value to your life or the world around you. Unlike a side hustle, a passion project does not have to make money,
Mm-hmm.
though in some cases it might eventually turn into an income generating venture.
Yes.
Means that a side hustle,
Which is what he was trying to say.
exactly. It means that once you're going for passion, okay, the first thing that comes to your mind is not that I'll make money. But when we're talking about side hustle,
Cap.
it's cash. Both definitely will need knowledge, because whether you're venturing into MC, you need to understand what it takes. Because whether you're venturing into professional network marketing, I need to understand because there are some side hustles that can actually make you feel frustrated again. So you need to be sure
Yeah.
that I'm going to this thing. Do I have what it takes? When I look deep down, passion is that thing that nobody tells you about. You look photography. I don't know if universities in Cameroon teach photography, but we've had beautiful photographers who was just born out of passion. You do, and somebody realized that, oh wow, this man, and then before you know, boom, you've made millions. The dream, in fact, the expectation is that passion be able to give you that money, because when passion gives you
Aligns.
money,
Yeah.
it gives you a balance in life.
True.
But now
You feel fulfilled.
Fulfilled.
Yeah.
But then I'll still say again, if we go back to our genesis of the conversation, that even if you're making money out of your passion, have a side hustle. Because if your passion is photography, it means you need to always be behind the camera. And one day you have a situation that your hands are cut off.
So
What happens?
I think that what he was saying is have your main hustle, and then you can find a way now to turn that your passion into a hustle, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's what we were
So
trying to say.
only,
And I think that
you can only realize your passion when you already have something that you're making.
You need
that is my problem that I was trying to say here. You see those people that are going for it's my passion, and you don't have 50 in your account, you don't have money to eat, and you're saying no, it's my passion, and they're advising you and you're not listening. Let me say there's a coach online, this lady online that is advising this feminist online that's advising a lot of women. Well, she's called Coach Siri. Like she always say, you will perish. Yes. If you're one of those, it's my passion, no, it's my passion. They're advising you. Look for something, because I always like to talk about context. That is why sometimes people share ideas with me.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the people around me know that I'm very realistic. Before you open your mouth, in fact, by the time you're done telling me something that you want to do, I will look you straight in the eye and I'll tell you how much I think that thing is going to fail or how much I think is going to succeed. It is born out of the desire to ensure that you do not find yourself in a situation where you're going to regret. It is true that in some cases, regret is inevitable, but a lot of people do not live in the reality of their context. Imagine that in Cameroon, you are starting a business like snack. You're starting a business like a restaurant. You're starting a business like what else? Or you want to carry a taxi and you put on the street and you say that a taxi. The disadvantages around this are loud. And if you have not done your homework to the T, the probability that it's going to fail. The probability that the people in that restaurant, when you turn your back, are going to cook sour food and give your customers, and your customers are going to run. The probability is that the waiters and the waitresses at your snack are going to buy fake whiskey from the markets and come and sell to customers and receive money and tell you that they have not sold the original whiskey that you have. The probability is that the taxi driver on the street is going to make money and tell you that boss, motor or jam motor for so and so place, a customer that not be there today, whereas he's making all of that money. That is my problem with a lot of young persons. You do not do your homework. And sometimes, too, even after doing your homework, it is showing you that code red flag. It don't bad. pack your bags and baggages and leave this thing that you are doing for now and probably return later. No, we only shing for day. If you only drink money, you only did it. If you only drink money, you only did it. It is true that there are persons that, because sometimes we also listen to the stories of our mentors, or not, let me not say mentors, to the stories of some of these celebrities that, some of these viral interviews and the rest, and we follow some of the things that they say, and it's like we just pick and we don't get the entire story. We need to be able to dig deep to get what they have said, because sometimes you hear somebody tell you that, oh, I did this business for 20 years and it was in the 21st year that it succeeded. You need to dig and find what they did in between those years for it to finally succeed in the 21st year. Don't just feel that you're going to stay in there for 20 years doing the same thing in the same way and thinking that results are going to come. It is rubbish.
No.
It is rubbish. For instance, imagine having a Truth Health podcast running for its second year. The way we started and the conversations we had and the way we did things is not the way we are doing it now. And it is clear that the progress is showing. What makes you think that you have to sit in one place? You know, it's my passion.
Change nothing.
It is what I love. I love this thing that I am doing. And if so and so, if Madonna could do it, if 50 Cent could do it, if Kosi could do it, if Stanley could do it, if Don Jazzy could do it, have they shared all of their secrets with you? Better watch out though. Don't go and disgrace us.
There's one thing I've always told: the life of a hustler globally, be it professional, whatever is that, it's okay to take a pause. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to take some steps behind. There are some people who don't want to always imagine that, no, if I stop, what people go top.
Yeah.
That's what I'm scared a lot of people, be it in passion or be in side hustle. There's a moment where you just say, let me just take a break and rethink this thing over. Re-strategize this thing over. And that's what is killing a lot of people.
I, for one, let me say, for instance, I wanted to run a production studio. I want to do all of these things. But then, after getting people, employing, putting people together, creating a team, amazing space, everything is good. And then at the end of the month, the money you are making is barely enough to pay the staff, pay your rent, and you yourself, you're having no money. Went like that for a full year. And I'm like, at the end of the year, I took my balance sheet. I realized that I've not made any money. I've made money, but I've paid people all the money. Why? Because you want to have a team. You want to have a space. I packed all the materials, went home, kept them, and sat like that, and then went back to freelance. Meaning that you take job that you can do. And you realize that you make 300,000 based your own. It's not of utility bills. From there, you build the momentum, save, and then come back now and start, like, I divided myself into an octopus. I have 8 arms. I can edit, I can animate, I can do that. But when the money start coming in, I say, okay, now, the thing where they stress me past now web design, my find person will go to handle the one. You give. As the time they go now, I say, okay, but I don't over for Biki the edit, man, they concentrate for the right, the fine person give the edit. As you cut it out gradually, you realize that, okay, at one point. So I agree with you totally that there's a point where you can fall to zero, go back and do something different, change the way the thing was going that was not profitable, and then you realize that your passion now if you start get towards a headway. If not, you end up having passion, no profit.
Yeah, no, true.
Facts.
Passion is that I want to do something.
Yeah.
I love it.
But methodology, how do I get it, is process.
The process.
You need to get it. I was laughing when she was talking about that she's interviewed and people are thinking, it's true.
There's some
people who I just want to give a video out there. But sometimes you need to sit and watch your video and say, if you're the audience,
will you like it?
If you like it.
That's a question. And sometimes it's okay to say, okay, let me just go back, take a break, redo it over, and come out better.
Or sometimes say, abandon it.
Yeah, no, I agree
Kill the
with you.
spirit.
No, I agree with you.
Kill him, Papa.
What I even wanted to say was, even while you were going to the artist, I was even talking about football. I remember there was some guy who was so passionate, who was crazy about him wanting to be a footballer, he's always having all the equipments, godars, hosts, everything. But get the fit. And somebody said that, bold live here. What do for you? You know, he's equipped, he has a physique, but the talent no
No,
there.
the food that left.
But he get a good that way he come out. Let me say, if he just dress, start, you say the man people has some wonderful nice shirt. When you try, okay, wait. He said,
You know, go.
oh, leave him. He said, no, I'm a footballer, passion. He said, oh, leave the passion.
Leave are you?
The passion, forget him.
Yeah, I think that music and sports.
Hold your
when we
mic
talk about
closer.
it-
Come
Yeah,
closer to
I
you.
think music and sports, when we talk about passion, we really need to create a different way we talk about that two particular.
Papa talk about tell
figures,
they say
because
you need to be talented for the
you
team.
need enough time and do some of the talent no be too if you learn am. You know if you go the learn like you need to start learn ball when you small. You know if you be 19 years old you want go learn ball. It don't already be too late for you to learn ball that time. So music for instance, you know if you sing, you know if you sing. Even with auto-tune, you know go.
You know go.
So you need for understand that sometimes you need for we talking about practical things for instance.
You see, take for instance, my man tell una something when T-Pain be the sing.
Yeah.
When he be blow because T-Pain be gay era. When T-Pain be the sing, the blow, everybody was like, oh, auto-tune. T-Pain does not know how to sing. What has made him blow and made him popular and is giving me all this money, concerts, gigs, and the rest is auto-tune. They way T-Pain. You see, if there are things that if you don't have the talent for now, there's no confidence and you will lose grit and you will lose focus and you will
Clearly.
leave that thing. The day T-Pain took a mic, the people that knew him knew that he knew how to sing. The people that were close to him. The day T-Pain take mic, sing with real voice. People thought said, don't ever use
Never
auto-tune
use
again.
auto-tune.
He is good. He is not only a performer, he is an excellent singer.
He just
T-Pain,
took advantage of the market. He knew
thank you. He was paying at the time. You know the story. And now, as I've watched him at concerts, I've watched him at live shows.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Why he first start use himself?
No, he understood.
that doesn't even know the market.
He knew
They
that
say
this
that time.
Auto-tune
Yes.
them will sell his thing.
Yes.
So he went for
You
it.
did hear you are like, and I listen to his real voice, and I listen to I'm like, oh my God. Now, either we need to also tell ourselves the truth. And I feel that the people we surround ourselves with, especially when we want to take on great ventures or big ventures in this life, there should be somebody in your circle that knows you to the T. There should be somebody in your circle that you trust. It is true that we have a lot of deception in this world, but at least you will have one or two persons that can look you in the eye and tell you the truth. They may not tell you in the most blunt way possible, but they will still tell you the truth that will hurt you, but will help you. May they tell you when you want to venture into something, let them tell you whether that thing is good. Let them give you advice. Let them tell you how to go about it. And I also feel that people should learn to expand and go to arenas where knowledge about what they want is being sold or it's being given. You cannot stay in the comfort of your home and you're planning to be an entrepreneur. You want to succeed and you're probably juggling between ideas on what to focus on. And there are events here and there being organized. There are master classes here and there. I'm not saying that you should go for all of those cock and bull story master classes, but there are ones where you can research even about the speakers. And you know that, no, these are people who have reputation and the rest. And you're not attending. Master class of 10,000, you rather take that money and go and do Dorime or go and enjoy doing I don't know what. Go and you have to invest in the expertise you want to be able to. There are podcasts to listen to. There are people to follow on the internet. There are videos to watch on YouTube. You are not feeding yourself with that knowledge. I'm saying so, especially with these people every day that are on how do they call it, TikTok, running business pages and the rest. You may have luck that some of these businesses would attract people. But trust me, it would attract more people when you sit, put your camera and you know what you're doing. Nobody can take that away from you. It doesn't matter the number of persons that are in that thing. There always has to be something that you have an edge over your competitors. People will come to you because they know that, this person is like people who are doing cosmetic business. When you meet an expert, you know. When you meet a married, the mix, you know, no. The one with the jambox, to say action, you take and you know. But you get person where you know you walk. Yeah. When the dermatologist go tell you, say, no, this is the process through which you can repair your skin and all of that. Build expertise, build excellence. And it's also something that you can carry over.
For people with passion, our advice, say, even if it's expensive, find way work with some clarity coach will get reputation, because that's a new field. But clarity coaching is something that is really key. For instance, as somebody once said, they say if they give you 1 million for invest for your business, use half of that money, go learn the business, pay, invest, learn. But then you cannot use half start the business. Why? Because you will go see some man the other day they complain say don't spend 10 million for farm because he don't take the 10 million. You don't know nothing about palm tree. You don't know nothing about the field. You don't go buy seeds, buy all thing, put at the end of the day, carry Christ, they don't lost 10 million.
You know my fear right now, what you're saying is very good, but I feel like coaching has become the new scam.
Now when you want to work with 20-year-old life coach,
No,
now
not
for the
necessarily.
problem
Honestly,
there.
you'll be amazed at the people who inspire
But
me.
we see that it does also mean that everybody is a scammer now.
No, what I mean is when I say it's a new scam is that with digital automation,
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult for us to actually see who is who. For instance, if I tell you that I've made 300 million in network marketing, 400 million, 500 million, it's editing. I can just tell you that I make screenshots behind my screen. This is me making 1 million a year, 10 million a year, 20 million a year. If you join me, you do it. Oh, actually, the money I want to make is because you're subscribing. What I'm trying to explain is that
I understand.
coaching today, I agree with mentorship. The people who have actually inspired me the most are not the very popular ones. I've stumbled on real life stories of people who are not as popular, that has touched me.
I don't think that in this case we're even talking about just
What
popularity.
about, you with me? When I say pay, because he was talking about pay, I agree that you need to pay for knowledge because knowledge, for somebody to acquire, build it up and give it back to you, you need to pay because either you have it or you pay for it. But I'm also saying that we need to be cautious when we go for it.
Yeah, check the authenticity
Yes,
That's
of
what
the
I said
coach.
about do your homework.
Yeah.
Yes,
When
you
we
have to
go
take
for
time and
knowledge,
do your homework.
because you might go for knowledge and actually it's your money that is.
No, we lose a lot of money. There are a lot of
Yeah.
scams
And it's,
on the internet.
it's recently
Yeah.
what Biggie is saying is there's a lot of truth in that thing that you've said because see a lot of times the noise makers are not the people with the knowledge. We are in a social media era where people are taking advantage of the fact that a lot of people are present on social media to sell trash. A lot of the noise makers are not the ones with the knowledge. You will see a lot of good people doing good stuff, but they are not popular. And that's why I also frown at people that know how to do the job. Because you are in a social media era, you need to come so that the people that need you will see you. But when you hide, that's why I frown at brands that are big and are not online. You have to find a way. You don't have to do it like everybody. You see Coca-Cola, how long have they been into business? Pepsi. You see Bic, the pen. I've been using Bic from when I was small. But do they stop from doing advert? Every back to school, they are there. They are doing advert. What else? iPhone does advert. Samsung does advert. Techno does advert. You see that they know that they have quality products. But before they launch a new product, their marketing is aggressive. More and more people that are experts in different domains should come to the front line. Don't just say, no, the people that need me will find me. Sometimes they will not find you that day.
They don't
Sometimes
even
they
know
will
where
not
to
find you
find
and
you.
say, thank you. They don't know. It will interest you to know that there was some information that I needed recently. And it took me going to Yaoundé, wasting transports and coming back just because that information was not readily available on the internet. I asked as many people as I could ask. Probably I'd not asked everybody. But when you have asked like a good number of people, I ended up saying, okay, let me go directly to this place, only to get there and they're referring me back to some other place to do the stuff. Whereas this is information that is support. You cannot be living in an online, this is social media era.
Put information
Put
available.
them for
for
them, maybe
people.
we'll see them. Even a few coins, sponsor them because
People need
it is
to know.
stress, man. It is
People need
stress,
to
man.
know.
It is crazy.
So as we talk, for professionalize your passion, consistency to build authority. Build your authority, show up, come, me they know say, okay, I feel do this thing. I feel make natural juice. I feel press up. I press and I show am 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time. Next time when they want to organize event,
Remember
they
you.
go say, na the man they ever put juice on his status every day, mu happy. People, your neighbor, like I saw one man who was complaining that the neighbor went and bought tires from another person whether he's selling tires. The neighbor does not know he's selling tires. The neighbor knows he get kenkari, but you sell tires, he don't know. Why? Because you need the swamp. So I think that people should show your passion by talking about it, writing about it, communicating in different formats about it.
Yeah.
And when they see when people begin to pair you with something, when they think about you, they should think about. When I think about you, I say, okay, I'm beginning to see MC. I'm beginning to see events. I'm beginning to see presentation. I'm beginning to see hosting. I'm beginning to see a lot of things. Why? Because you don't show me. But if you show me some lambda, how will I know I will call you for my event? I don't go no.
Facts, I agree.
Exactly.
Biggie, what are your last words?
Why we want to make passion become monetized? Let's hustle side hustles. That's what I would say. Passion is beautiful, but before we want to, while we are waiting for passion to start making us money,
Yes.
multiply the streams of income in your side hustles, in your current hustle, because I've transformed my side hustles, and all of my side hustles are all main hustles.
True.
Like I have a structured week. I don't have time again for myself. Because
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
cut me small, so big.
Don't worry.
Sunday they go as I talk. Sunday they go na Mbanga go buy ball or cancel on Marché Central. Other day
So
they
that's
go
it.
to studio.
So,
So
because
you need for
let
business too.
your side
Yeah.
hustles be able to fuel or
Power your
sponsor
passion.
your passion.
True.
But the side hustles will be there. And for us to even realize those side hustles, because it's one thing, is there's a lot of discipline. I always tell people that motivation and discipline are two ball games. No matter how motivated, if you're not disciplined,
You can never make it.
discipline is way over motivation. So whether you're trying to do your side hustle to make money or whether you're trying to realize your passion, you must be disciplined.
Discipline.
And you don't have to be scared of failing. A lot of people have not succeeded because they don't want to imagine that they'll fail. So they've not even started because they're like, what if I go meet it?
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah. What if I go it no work? How it go be? Let the man not just tramp. If
yeah,
they
yeah.
see me say, hold me so
Wait till they
small
go
time.
talk.
And that's what has killed a lot of people. Whether you're doing passion, whether you're going for a side hustle, you have that phase where you're going to try, it's not going to go, you're going to come back. And starting all over has never been, whether it's passion or side hustle, taking a time out, break, coming back, re-strategizing and going over
Sure.
is good.
Very well said. Thank you so much, gentlemen. This conversation was so insightful. We hope that you watching us can, in fact, you can learn a lot. Okay. I'll round up by saying that there is absolutely no reason why you should come and choose a useless passion. Please, if you have to choose, say that you're passionate about something, you should have thought about how that thing can materialize into money in the future. Just like Biggie said, have as many streams of income as possible, just like Abbas said as well. Let us think towards the money direction. But make sure that you stay legal. Oh. Make sure that whatever it is you're doing is honest, is clean. Don't go and put your hands in illegal stuff that you want to have multiple streams of income. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click that notification button so that every time we release an episode, you'll be the very first to know. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's Truth Hurts Podcast everywhere. Until next time, bye-bye.
Peace.